for the fastest hour in radio. The Ron and Fez show.
It is fast, isn't it, Fez?
Going quick.
Fez, John Ramsey, that's the father of beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey, is running for a seat in Michigan's legislature. Now, who's going to vote for this guy?
I don't know. Other people that might have murdered children?
I would say this. I would vote for John Ramsey if maybe he's running against Scott Peterson. I got to say, at least JonBenet had a couple of nice years before this guy came in. Now, why? Everyone knows who you are. You've had this cloud hanging over your head. Why do you feel like public service is the way to go? Let's get me back in the newspapers.
I have no idea what this guy could be thinking where he thinks he could get a vote. Or that, people would want to hear what he has to say. If this happened to you, wouldn't you just want to go away? Especially when the glare was on you, that you might have killed your own daughter?
Yeah, you would think the smart move was, I'm going to lay low for a while. Maybe he's addicted to being in the newspaper. Maybe he's addicted to being on TV. I have no idea. But it just doesn't seem to me that you want to... And I'm not even saying the guy did it because they've never proved it. But you just want to stay out of the heat, you would think, at this point.
Next thing you know, he's going to be judging little beauty queen contests again. He can't stay away from any of this. He's going to be, showing people how to make garrots.
I don't know where you're going with this, Fez, because you don't have to become a real judge to judge a beauty contest. That's not going to be any yes, we brought in Judge Hamptons, and he's here to judge the beauty contest.
An explosion in the Russian Republic of Chechnya killed President Ahmad Kadyrov over the weekend. Who was on the grassy knoll for this one?
Now, did you get to see any of the video, Fez?
I saw, the stadium, right, as he was in?
It was the oddest stadium I've ever seen. I mean, it's a parade. He's the president. There's barely anybody there. There's no one really any regular people sitting around him. It was a big empty stadium, and the next thing you see is just a giant hole there.
Like everyone else was in on it and knew to stay away from the stadium that day.
I mean, have you ever seen a parade in even the smallest town where no one shows up? Why would he be sitting? It looked like maybe a single-A ball game somewhere out west. It just looked like, why weren't people there?
This guy had so many enemies on both sides of the fence. He's part of the Chechnyan rebels, joins the group, and then starts working with Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, and turns his back on his rebel group to try to keep them down. So he's got Russians that don't like him, and he's got Chechnyans that don't like him. And he ends up, going to a parade by himself.
He's got clowns to the left of him, jokers to the right. And he's like Mr. Blonde, trying to work the whole deal out.
Oprah's personal trainer, Bob Green, he stood up for his sponsor, McDonald's, by saying the Super Size Me documentary is just taking cheap shots and that lawsuits against Mickey D's have no teeth.
Well, in all fairness here, so did the guy who directed Super Size Me. He never said that anybody should sit around and sue McDonald's for what they eat. What he did say is, here, I ate nothing but McDonald's food for 30 days, 3 meals a day, and look what happened to me.
Now, Bob Green, he's bicycling across the country for some McDonald's promotion, I think, to promote the new salads or something.
It's a good point here that you can bicycle every day and have a hamburger. Most of us don't bicycle across the country. It's another thing to say don't suddenly feel better about yourself when you do nothing and eat McDonald's. I think that's the point of the documentary.
We finally found someone, though, that says, no, McDonald's is fine for you.
Yeah, but it's somebody on the payroll. I'm sure that the president of McDonald's is going to say the same thing. Here's what I would ask Bob Green. Can you eat McDonald's 3 meals a day? And the guy doesn't even attack McDonald's. He's attacking fast food. He's saying you can't go out and eat fast food every single day. Is Bob Green saying that you can without working out?
He's trying to say that to Oprah. He's saying that to Oprah every day as she balloons back up again.
She looks great. And I'll tell you somebody else who's really lost a ton of weight that you're always busting her stones. Star Jones. Turn on that Star Jones one day. She's getting married. I don't know what she's done to herself, but she's shrinking in front of the TV.
She won't admit it, but she got stapled.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she won't admit it.
I know she definitely won't admit it, but do you know that she definitely got stapled?
I will say, yes, I know it.
You realize that you're on the radio, and you just can't go out and say things about people without backing it up. So I'll throw in allegedly for Fez.
The subservient chicken on the internet is going to start hawking chicken sandwiches for Burger King.
You know, I've gotten the subservient chicken emailed to me about 400 times already. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is just my guess. Burger King has been behind this guy the whole time. This is an old marketing thing, as old as the web, that you get people into seeing the Blair Witch website. They believe it, and then they go out and see the movie like it's a documentary. Why would somebody stay in a chicken suit doing whatever you want 24 hours a day online unless you're going to unveil it and suddenly find yourself a commercial spokesperson?
This chicken, though, is so scary looking. The head alone on this thing. I can't imagine any company would want this as their logo or mascot.
All it is to get people in. Now all of a sudden this guy's famous, and now he's tied in with Burger King. I think it's genius. I think it's absolute genius what they pulled off.
Herbal Viagra and other so-called natural alternatives for treating impotence advertised on the net and in men's magazines, they say are often contaminated with real drugs and could kill those who take them.
Wow, what a great idea. You think, hey, I'm going to take it easy. I'm just going to have some nice herbs, and it's laced with PCP. Thank you very much.
All you're eating is some plants in a capsule.
Here's the problem with the herbal drugs. The FDA doesn't cover a lot of this stuff. So by the time the FDA gets in and treats it, they're all of a sudden off working under some kind of other Jimson root tree or whatever, and people are thinking they're getting something good.
And the next thing you know, the heart explodes. It always amazes me on the internet where there's advertisements for drugs like Xanax or Valium or the Viagra, where you can just, it seems like sending an email and get it.
Yeah, you can. And that's half the junk mail I get. Apparently what they do in some places, you can talk to a doctor by email, just like whether it's over the phone or whatever, and that's your doctor's appointment.
And then they just send you out the pills.
No, I don't worry about it at all, any kind of fake Viagra. You know how many drugs I've taken in my life? It never even shook me. So I'm not going to sit around. I don't know why people suddenly worry about these drugs. You can do all you want as far as I know. That's my own experiments.
A new study shows that boys ages 5 to 12 would rather play with video games than with traditional toys. Is this good or bad?
It's good for the kids. It's bad if you make cars. Why wouldn't anybody want to rather play a video game than with some kind of fake fire truck that you push around yourself?
With the adults, it's they're the ones playing with the toys now. We discussed that last night on the show. And the kids are just enjoying their video games.
Well, first of all, kids don't even ask for anything but video games. If you gave a kid, like a 4-year-old kid, like a Jack in the Box or Legos, he would look at you like you're an idiot. Why would he want to play with that when you can sit there and act like you're shooting people on Mars? It's not even close for him.
It makes me wonder in the future what kind of skills these kids are going to have from being able, to race the cars, fly the planes, and everything on video. When they grow up, are they just going to have these really great reflexes from playing these games all the time?
Yeah, they're going to have phenomenal reflexes, and we're going to raise a generation of fighter pilots. That's what we're going to get out of this. In the future, everyone can grow up to be a fighter pilot.
They'll be really, really heavy, but they'll have great reflexes.
Is it like we got any skills at all with playing with Lincoln Logs?
I can't build a cabin if that's what you mean.
When kids play games, they're not trying to build skills that they need to do. That all started with Sesame Street, where games were supposed to be something that you're supposed to learn from. A kid wants to play a video version of hide and go seek, and you can't blame them for wanting to do it. It's better than a pinball machine. You know it's going to be better than playing with blocks.
I just think that we don't know what all these games are doing to these kids. We're not going to know till 20, 30 years down the road.
Of course. You sound like there was a certain generation that worried about cartoons, and there was a huge generation that worried about comic books. Like somehow they were polluting kids. Let the kids play with what they want to play. How about staying away from their life for just a couple of years until you force them into working a job they hate? Because that's what's going to happen to all of them when they're 18. They're going to have to go and work jobs that they hate.
The 19-year-old woman accusing Kobe Bryant of rape made an unannounced appearance in the courtroom as lawyers argued whether her mental health was relevant.
All right, I'll just do a quick impression of when she walked in. It was like Dynasty, where suddenly she walked in. She wasn't supposed to be there.
It was the lady in black. You think they shook Kobe up?
I think he probably dropped the deuce. I think he probably sat there and dropped the deuce because it's the first time he saw her. He's sitting there next to his lawyers, his chick, just like, Jesus.
I know her. I know her from somewhere.
Yeah.
So this is cool because it shows that, she's going to fight back at this point. Kobe's lawyer...
Well, late for that, isn't it, honey? You had your opportunity to scratch his eyes out.
Not physically, just legally. Kobe's lawyers are going after everything with this case. They're trying to get the Colorado Rape Shield law thrown out so that they can have her medical records. And they want to have her banned from being called the victim at any point during the trial.
If I was her, then she's a free person. I'd go sit on Sacramento's bench with a T-shirt that says, Kobe raped me.
And she could just be the team mascot.
And, he's going to shoot free throws. Raper, raper.
Besides the courtroom, she should just start showing up places.
We're going to take a break here. It's the fastest hour in radio.
Right now we're going to check in with the WJFK Entourage, the street team. They are out in the WJFK Toyota 4Runner and giving people some cool prizes. Where are you at today, guys?
Hey, guys. Today we're at the Solar Planet in Springfield, right off of Old Key Mill Road, and we're giving away lots of cool stuff. We've got free Slurpees from 7-Eleven. We've also got Dave & Buster's Power Cards, prizes from AOL, and the new game Hitman Contracts for PlayStation and for Xbox. If you want to come by, look for the WJFK 4Runner. We can hook you up with one of those. Also, come by and pick up your JFK bumper sticker. We do have coupons for free tans on the back, so you can come by, get yourself a free tan. That's Solar Planet on Old Keene Mill Road in Springfield. This is Megan with the WJFK Entourage.